and that is a long time to persevere against a team like Reply Totem.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I feel like it's going to have to be an incredible start from Mr.Dosa,
Oh.
94-6. I'll just touch on this before I get into my point, but 94-6 is going to be one of the most convincing predictions we've seen from the audience. And obviously, we were kind of siding with it, and it wasn't this heavy in my opinion, but I mean, I can kind of get behind it for the public's sake.
I don't think I can get behind it, Trav. They deserve more than that, surely. I mean, they're still a dangerous team, but it's just this Reply Totem. But there's been times in the BSC where Reply Totem have had upsets. I mean, going back to last year, it was a stage where they went out in the quarterfinal stages to, I forget the team name now it was, but they have had some mishaps. But again, this new format being much more saving in that respect does mean that they've got to go wrong for longer, haven't they, really? But Gus and Brock coming in, Mr.Dosa, and the first early draft of RT coming in for Joker. Bans with Tick, Max, and Bonnie on the side of Reply Totem. Bonnie, Sprout, and Max for Mr.Dosa.
I mean, I like RT to start with. He has had some good moments, some good plays. We saw it work pretty well for the first team in Bridge Too Far, I believe it was, and it worked pretty successfully there. And we saw it in APAC earlier as well, and they had some successful moments, but at the same time, we've seen the complete opposite, where it's been pretty useless at some points as well. Adding to the Reply Totem comp, we've got that Eve, and we've got the Gene following up as well. And although there's not too much water on a map like this, we've got a little bit towards that spawn section. It doesn't get the biggest amount of value. You're looking towards those babies, parasites to get the value. And obviously, Gene's going to be pretty much good no matter what the map.
Yeah, it's a dangerous draft. It really is so far. The Reply Totem, especially that Eve pick. Grom, though, actually, that might have swayed me a bit more than I was expecting. It is such a difficult one to go up against. Let's see. Going in, though, on the side of Mr.Dosa, it really is getting this pinch that's the key, and ultimately that's what the Eve is actually kind of more designed to do on the side of Reply Totem. So it just feels like that aggressiveness might be what prevails for them. The Gut Shield is obviously going to be playing a vital component for Mr.Dosa to keep everyone alive, and Salty, whether it be him on the Brock or not, whoever it is, needs to make sure to open up the right areas of the map at the right times to give themselves the edge. It's a relatively even draft, though, I would say, for the most part, in my opinion.
I think the same. I mean, as you say, it's going to have to be a little bit careful these breaks, because you don't want to break up too much with the Grom being there, but you also don't want to break up too little that you're not getting the value that you're desiring. So on things over on the right-hand side here is we're probably going to have a little bit of a stalemate between Linane and Joker. He's starting to pinch over the right-hand side as well, but now he does fall low with a couple of connections from Dorian. Follow-up shots from Lane and Ian, and he does go down. Mario going to have to jump away there. Little baby dropped on the way, but so far, so good for Mr.Dosa.
Harry here. Still surviving on, but that'll be the shot to secure it. And already, I mean, it's just not looking good for Maru in this situation. He'll be looking to try to earn a super, or at least avoid giving one over as he finds the gas. And he's doing a pretty decent job so far of actually evading these shots. And will he try to champion this? I don't think he will. Just literally buying time. Gas now coming in, and yeah, he'll call it a day, and he'll be back to the drawing board for this round, or the next one to come, rather, for Reply Totem.
Yeah, need to kind of sort things out. Joker was definitely quite out of position, and he started to try to pinch over the right-hand side, but instantly punished by both Linane and the Gus with the pinch that came in. But it seems like Grom's been able to hold his lane pretty well there, as Linane, obviously being a capable player, falls up with the gadget and needs one shot already. But also, so is Linane. He get that extra range with the burst of damage. Pull comes in, though. Great connection from Mario, and that should be a trade. But Dorian throws a few shots out first, and Salty might be able to punish them here. Shots coming in from Linane as well, and the Parasite just tanking a little bit. Now following up, Grombomb's going to finish off Mori, and this is a complete flip of what we expected. Mr.Dosa starting off so strong with only Mario remaining once more.
What a turn-up, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong here. Mr.Dosa can't get too overconfident, because this can be turned around. I mean, Mario's got nothing to lose at this stage, and he will go in here trying to evade everything that they've got to throw at him, but that will be the final bullet to land. Can't count them out.
I mean, you definitely can't. They have the mechanics. It was kind of just a question of if they were going to have that team play. And so far, with the pinching that we've seen, and it seems like Totem are the team who don't really have that team play. Joker kind of pinching in certain circumstances and putting himself in harm's way, but making that early mark onto Dorian, extending some damage onto him over there as well. But this time, it seems like Totem are taking a little bit of a different strategy, playing a different way. And as you said, the pinching is just so necessary for them that this might work out a little bit better.
We're on the side of Reply Totem pretty low now, as some big shots are landing. Pushing forwards now from the bottom. Lenan trying to connect onto Mario, but he is juking wondrously well. And Joker now full HP too, looking to earn his super, but again, not feeding into him, not allowing him too many shots, because those amplified damages will start to take their toll, and Lenan now will feel the front of that, as well as Salty. Gas now is going to push through Maru, and that is a concern. He jumps away and tries to place the hatchling down, but the rocket rain on the left-hand side will connect to Maru. He will go down. Salty survives here. 3 versus 2. Joker goes in. Oh! But the legs are not enough to carry him, and Maru goes down yet again. Is it going to be a straight first set for Mr.Dosa?
I mean, it's looking that way. Even when Totem changed their strategy, changed their tactics, it doesn't work out for them. We're seeing a triple lane stack over by Mr.Dosa over the right side. I don't know if that's going to help them or harm them, because they're being pushed back pretty quickly. But Joker pushing up nicely now. Salty got this super in hand, and then obviously not going to be able to deal with these spawns just well enough for him to not be this low. But terrible position for them now, and if Joker can obviously get in a position to use and plant his legs, then obviously a lot of damage was going to come out there, but chose to go with the Mori tactic instead and hit that pull, making it a 3v2.
It needs to change, and needs to change now, but this could be the moment. Let's be honest. Mario would love to get a super for the next round, but he might have just fed actually over to Dorian, but the gas now so far behind things, and it's going to allow a lot of utility gained for Reply Totem, because they do need to get the upper hand in this next round. They've got to survive a little bit longer here. Otherwise, it could be a very swift set going the way of Mr.Dosa. Let's see now. Lenan is lurking. Grumble not going to connect, and keeping then Joker and Mario alive on the bottom left-hand side. So not the start Mr.Dosa we're looking for here.
Yeah, got to be scared of this pull as well. Vengeful Spirits being popped and finds a little bit of damage, almost taking down Dorian on the top side there. Lenan's low as well. Wants to find some connecting shots onto Joker, but actually connects a couple onto Mori. Brings him very low, and now it's his turn to have to be a bit more patient and heal up, because obviously he can't use those healing buffs on himself. Shots coming from the right-hand side. Now it's Salty trying to find some connections, but at the moment it kind of just seems like it's Totem changing their strategy and making improvements, and Mr.Dosa just bring the same thing to the table every time. Play 3 people on this right, and it hasn't worked in that previous round. They need to make some changes if they wanted to make it work now.
Now it goes down there. The magic hat will only bring back there the gadget. Another missed scramble from Lenan, but the pressure is the key here, and Joker is incredibly low. Rocket Rain as well will miss, but Maori on the bottom right-hand side there, just trying to survive on a little bit longer. He's going to trickle down now. It's Joker in the 1 versus 3. Surely cannot deal with this. And Mr.Dosa with a shocking start
in that set, whether or not they're going to be able to come back and have a set. Obviously, you can't fully blame it on that, because their draft was their choice, and they're going to have to take the loss because of it. But in a mode like Brawl Ball, where it's probably not going to be used, something a bit more comfortable with, don't really want to risk too much, they might be able to claw this one back just a little bit.
Wow, this is a much more Reply Totem based kind of mode for me. Let's see what the bans are. Crow, Stu, and Spike for them, and Spike, Max, and Nita for Mr.Dosa. I think Nita's a very underrated ban here, and one that can often thrive, and the win rates are very, very high for it at the moment. So be going to come in as the first draft for Reply Totem. It's always a very, very solid mid to have, and especially on this particular map, it can have some issues. But I think, for me, Surge is a great map for him. And despite, B being a pretty decent tank counter, with the way this map is situated, it can really lend itself strongly to brawlers that can just really force their way through with Poco and heal ideas. Otis is going to come in as a pretty hefty tank counter as well. Mr.Dosa, quite like the way that they are thinking when it comes to this particular draft. But that early lead as well has got to be making them feel good about this. They just cannot throw it away. The Max is quite a key ban as well. Taking away that speed is going to be quite crucial here and quite key. Let's see what they add to this mix. But so far, so good from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, you're never really going to go wrong with a B first pick, are you? It doesn't have that many counters and it counters quite a lot. But on the same side, Otis is very, very similar in terms of not really got too much that it's not good against. Ems, on the other hand, though, I feel like it may be a little bit too early for that draft. I kind of like that as maybe a later pick against some of those tanks or something like that. But at the same, yeah, something like that's going to come out. A Barley against an Ems on a lane on Super Beach, it's never going to go in the Ems' way unless there's some wall break. But they're going to add a Primo to it as well, which kind of gives Ems a little bit of legs, especially when you have those friend zoners early on, and when you use them, you always kind of got to have a super in hand to be able to make a getaway. But then Gray, last return pick from Mr.Dosa. I mean, I don't know. What do you even say about this comp now? I mean, it's good. I like Gray at certain points. We've seen it work so well in NA, but it hasn't really been translated to EU2 recently.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Since the nerf, Gray has now come down to a much more balanced place. You can no longer, combine with your teammates in those teleportations. It's just basically Gray going to be doing great things. I mean, it's going to be... Sure, I mean, I'd prefer to have the Ems in mid here, so I'm just kind of wondering where it sits, but ultimately you can break open the map with the Grand Piano. That's, I imagine, where the strategy will be here for Lanun. We'll see. No, he's actually going with the walking stick, so okay, fair enough. It will break the same amount of coverage, has a bit more utility as well. Mari already feeling the front of it, has to drop a quick healing tonic to bring himself back to life, but the way that Mr.Dosa are playing so far, I'm all for this. It's just not necessarily what I was expecting, considering the nerf has brought Gray down such a vast amount. But maybe they got an idea up their sleeve here.
I mean, there's no better start for what Linane had there. Getting the perfect wall break, getting those walls down against Mori. The only thing that can really go better is if more of this map's able to be broken up, but Dorian almost finds a way through there. Maybe with a knockback and a shot, he would have been able to finish that one off, but Mariu's going to get the jump. Instantly muted out by Salty, but they're just too low now. They're not going to be able to do too much, have to retreat, and Dorian even using a super before he goes down there. Not the best use.
A chance here to push forwards. Salty, the last man standing for Mr.Dosa, and just trying to delay the onset. But Maru is a threat. He really is. And if he gets the super away from conceding a couple of shots here and there, it will place Reply Totem in a much more favorable position to try and get this goal that they need. And everyone on the side of Mr.Dosa so low. That's the jump through. Maru will get the double here. No, the mute will be enough. But the pickup there from Joker is there. Mari with the pass. Surely going to connect it. And they will be able to get it. They fought hard for it, but Reply Totem get one on the board at just the right kind of time, really. This control-based comp can now start to relax a little bit and just keep everyone at bay.
Yeah, walls back up for Barley as well, and obviously it's not going to be the best for Primo, but he has this jump and he has the ability to go aggressive. Then he's just going to be getting rid of the ball, actually going so aggressive. I mean, I don't know why he's done that, but now they are going to be punished for it. TP away from Salty as well, trying to find the shots up top. Dorian's got the super as well, going to be slowing things down and actually should be able to stop this from being a goal, but it's just a question of what else they're going to be able to do in this position. 30 seconds left and really not a lot of legs in this game.
It's a tough one, but there is a glimmer of hope. Lanun can get a couple of shots and maybe a surprise attack on the TP side of things. Joker low as well now on that left-hand side. But Maru is such a threat. They've got to take care of him. And there's the TP in, but Lanun couldn't quite get it. Great observation there from Maori. It really was. But this should be enough to seal it. Mr.Dosa bringing it back in just the nick of time. And we're going to overtime.
I mean, with OT kicking in, we've got an Otis, we've got a Gray. They've just got a B on the other side against a Primo and a Barley. They should be dominant now from Mr.Dosa. They get the mute off as well. Joker's fairly low up top. He can't do a lot. Gets hit once more. The mute's going to be following up as well. Take down onto the Gray, but that took a lot of their ammo. Follow-up shots, and Dorian puts it to bed. Mr.Dosa.
One more game lost, and they'll be down 2 sets, and I've got, Reply Totem are not that kind of team that are often found to be that far behind. I don't know how they're going to be able to, recover from that if they were to go down another game here, but they've definitely had a much better start than previous rounds of anything, so there is that to hold on to for Reply Totem fans out there, and this is a pretty good strong arm here. Maori working the left-hand side, and Maru will finally go down the left, but Joker will gain the amplified shot, places it onto Dorian, great snow onto Salty. So there's some good mechanics there still remaining for Reply Totem. It's just that Mr.Dosa are just finding these little openings, and they just don't hesitate to make them count.
Yeah, and he's going to be finding this mute soon as well. Does get it on, I believe, or maybe he just slid it underneath him as he jumped over, but couldn't see. The interaction was a bit hectic, but Lenane going to be able to avoid that slow and needs to get one of these walking sticks off, pull Mori through and get rid of some of these walls, otherwise it's just going to be dominant. They're in such a strong arm position now. Takedown over the right-hand side onto Dorian as well. Maru can't be too far off another jump, but it doesn't even matter. Lenane's going to go down anyway. Salty's going to join him back in the spawn soon enough, and the goal gets put in.
Deja vu. Kind of how things started off last time round, and Mr.Dosa had a great deal of perseverance in the situation. Maru's still trying to cycle, but Dorian has now fed and supers all round for both Lenane and him. Passing to the left, Maru has a bit more of an ability to control the situation, but this is the TP that we were worried about. Honey Molasses there from Joker. Oh, but he couldn't quite get a shot off there. Lenane survives. It's 3 versus 2 now. Maru jumps in, but he hasn't got jumped though. The mute was there as well from Salty. Great work from Mr.Dosa, but they're not able to land the goal just yet.
Yeah, Mori's missed a few shots in there as well, but Joker able to fend off the left-hand side and just keep them in a better position. Taking on over the right-hand side, 35 seconds on the clock. They made it work with this amount of time last time, but they've got to try and do it again. Otherwise, they're going to be taking a loss in this second game of Brawl Ball. Lenane trying to fight back and does need another TP if something's going to happen, but Salty's going to use the one that's already there, and he's going to get hit hard and taken down. Lenane gets the kill, but can't quite get away. Dorian's going to TP up. He just sent Maru to the shops, jump over the
No way.
forwards, looking for the ball, needs help from his teammates. He's got another slow as well. He's cycling. Can they make the play? His teammates are now joining him. Salty's there, but Mr. Lenane isn't yet. TP as well. Can they make the play? Oh, the ball, I don't think. The mute's there as well, but just cut short. Mr.Dosa take the loss, and Reply Totem, hold on.
They did the same, and I mean, Lenane did it perfect. He really did. That was the perfect placement. But just as that Brawl has been sitting now within the meta for a while, teams at this level, they know they can see it coming. Joker now with the amplified shot. Honey Molasses onto Salty there as well to slow him down a little bit, but Lenane is in such a rock and a hard place on this left-hand side, and Maori is just whittling him down slowly but surely. Another walking cane, but it's not enough to seal it, and he will get the trade off on that left-hand side, but it's just Joker now. He's got some utility, but this is a very early push from Mr.Dosa.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be able to put this one away. Tries to find the shot, but I think that was wide anyway from Salty. Joker did such a good job of staying alive there, but this left-hand side is broken up. TP from Mr. Lane's there again, and this is the start they need. They need these takedowns, they need these walls down, but Maru's on the aggressive. 2v1, shouldn't be able to get too much done, especially with the mute, but his super should do a lot of work. He actually jumped over the mute there and gets both. I'm just eating my words. He gets a double kill, straight over the mute, and Ems can do nothing.
Maru knows. He just knows, like Semantic. Primo is in such a good place when it comes to the meta. And the fire burn down there was enough to secure it. And this could be a goal to take the set entirely. Salty low here. More healing tonic coming from Maru. Cycling the supers beautifully. Last calls all round. And Lenana's got a world of hurt coming his way as well. They're just taking their time because they can just try to just whittle down that time all they want now. They've got the lead. They don't have to necessarily even score, just not lose control. But they're going to surely get it now as well. And Reply Totem bringing back to life. Just kind of see it coming a little bit more. There's a little bit less of a surprise effect when it comes to now TPing onto those balls. But going into layer cake and bounty next. And this is definitely a chance to be able to shut down some of these big lanes, especially now the indestructible walls coming into the equation. Sprout got to be up there on the bans for me, because it's just such a great opportunity otherwise to really slow down the pace and just whittle down your oppositions, but also for some big, heavier hitters as well. And the long-range affair is always going to be where most of the battles are won and lost, but it's definitely mixed things up quite considerably so. And there is going to be a Sprout ban on the side of Mr.Dosa, which is quite good to see. Max and Jean combined to it. Max, Janet, and Poco are the bans for Reply Totem.
Well, first pick should be coming in shortly. I mean, Layer Cake, we've seen some similar maps. Haven't seen this one today just yet, I don't believe. But, you know, we have seen quite a lot of squeak here. The bit of Carl comes in, tries to pick up that blue star as well. But we're going to see a tick nice and early on. With Sprout banned out of the way, it probably makes the most sense to take it as the next logical thrower. At the end of the day, it's still quite early, you know, with the possibility of that aggression. I mean, Max out the way on both sides, it brings like less aggression, but still, as I said, Carl with the flying hook, it can be dangerous. Janet flying in and landing on you, also another dangerous thing. But we're actually going to see the RT coming out of Mr.Dosa, feeling confident in that one, but I'm not sure against the tick, really.
Definitely feels favored, more so in this region than any other so far. As time goes on, though, we'll see how North America have sort of taken to it and how South America as well feel about the RT here. But I think it's a decent one for sure. The legs as well might be able to get a bit more value on some of these side lanes than other maps, but Grom coming in, I feel, is very dangerous. And Emmerich as well, going to be subbing in for Dorian, by the way, on the side of Mr.Dosa. Reply Totem do need something of an aggressive idea. Ruffs, I mean, you've got to have the survivability to be able to really make that particular brawler work. It's maybe dropped off a little bit now of indestructible walls, but letting over the supply drop to the tick to be able to have more be a great thing. I just feel like it needs a long-range approach. It really does. I mean, whether it's a Bee, a Bell, or something along those lines, or maybe even a Bonnie. Yeah, that works for me. Ultimately, it's one that, again, this brawler is played more in EMEA than any other region. I'm not necessarily always sold on it, but I am starting to come to it. And Sam, for Mr.Dosa, it's a riskier one, I would say. It can have those big pop-off moments, absolutely so, but it can also struggle to get much on the board. So it really depends how Mr.Dosa play. I imagine Lenan going to be playing on the Sam pick, I think. He tends to do, at least back in the days last year for Tribe Gaming EU, but we shall see who's going to fare well. It's definitely a more control-based comp for Reply Totem, but definitely a more aggressive, take it all for the win for Mr.Dosa.
I mean, I kind of like that Sam as a last pick. Tick's got pretty much no damage. Ruff's very little damage at close range, and the same with Bonnie. I mean, they've already got RT to deal with as well, who's got a decent health pool. Not massive, not as big as Sam, but still something. They're going to be taking a lot of shots to try and bring down what Mr.Dosa are bringing to the table, and still they've got this Grom. If they do need to play a little bit more passively when they get a substantial lead, they can still play defensive as well. Use RT's range, use Grom's shots over the wall, and already 5-0 before we even get in.
Those are not wasting any time at all, are they? Well, S4 coming in will force Lenan to the left. He's juking wondrously well, pushing forwards now. Might have to reconsider things just a little bit. Not throwing out the gauntlets too much. Where did he place them? Has he lost them? The knuckle busters are somewhere. Maybe he threw them out too far and couldn't pick them up. Either way, though, it'll be a swift takedown for Reply Totem to bring back a little bit more of the deficit. And let's see how they respond to it. This is what I do worry about a little bit. If Mr.Dosa get pushed back this tick, and the Bonnie can really start to work well in the synergy side. Lenan's pushed to the right hand side, and a chance there for Mari to get the angle, and now Mr.Dosa starting to get pushed back a little bit too much for my liking.
Yeah, nice stuff from Lenan, though. Kind of baited his little retreat and then stayed in the position that he was and got some heals off his knuckle dusters, obviously, but now just throwing him out once more. Just playing this slow game, but he's getting hit hard by those rough slings, and he's thrown that quite far backwards, going to get the heal off it eventually. But Emmerich not able to get too much done either. In comes the ticket, and that actually might bring him down. No help from the teammates, and Lenan's going to get hit by that. Super coming in from Ruffs as well. Can he avoid it? Just evades it a little bit, but Joker's going to get the jump in, and there's no trades there from Mr.Dosa. Lenan should be dying as well. Another ticket thrown onto him. 20 seconds on the clock, and Joker's made all the difference.
Huge from him, really is. This could be a big meaty push coming inbound. Great use there of the gadget there from Lenan, but it's not going to be quite enough. This should be able to survive on Salty with 13 HP. Emmerich as well, really in the thick of it. And that'll be a nice, easy pickup for Maori. It's starting to look.
Assistance from their teammates as well, and I just really like what Joker did there, jumping in at the right moment, getting the kills, retreating with 5 stars. I mean, there's nothing you can really complain about with the play that he made. Lenan definitely not starting this one as aggressive as last time, because we already saw 5 stars at this point in the previous one.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did waste no time last time round, but now really in a bit of a rock and a hard place. Yeah, supply coming down as well. Joker with a jump and the pickup of the stars. Supply drop already with Maru, and that's what you need to have. Having Tick buffed up in this instance is such an important thing to have to keep things under control. You lose that, you might well lose the game off the back of it too, but it is Reply Totem now pushed back. Unlike them to see as Lenan just going to heal himself up again, but closing in quickly. Great gadget. Will he get the takedown for it? No! Tickhead for the win, and Salty quickly to follow.
I mean, I'm not sure what Salty was doing there. Didn't want to go in when Lenan did, and didn't really want to stay out after he didn't. So, bit of an indecisive thing from him there, and wasted his super along the way as well. Decided to use it about 245 health. I'm not sure what the decision making was there, but Lenan back up this right hand side and trying to aggress Joker, but Maybe he'll get a little bit of assistance off his teammates. He even gets the jump as well, and the name can't quite reach him. They'll switch to the sides from Joker, choosing to try to stay alive. And even if he doesn't, he's delayed them enough to be able to win this one out.
Eric's got the Grom bomb to hand, but does concede a lot of shots on the way forwards. Party recovery still keeping Lanan into the mix, but he's unable to really close the gap enough unless they get really Reply Totem really far back on those ropes. Gonna struggle to land too much, and especially in this position, Reply Totem can just sit back with the buff and just make it work. Joker jumping in, Grom bomb won't be enough here. And Lanan uses the opportunity to push forwards, 10 seconds on the clock, but Salty can't really get the next to attach. He does get one takedown, but not more than that. 17 stars to the 6. Reply Totem will take this set and looking much more like themselves.
This hard rock mine and take it over to that hot zone game, so we can see even more gameplay between these two fairly evenly matched teams, I will say. And I didn't really think I'd be hearing myself say that today. I thought this would have been one of the more convincing ones, but Mr.Dosa, they've showed up, they've proved to us why they deserve to be here. Now they just need to prove it to us once again and take it to a set number 5.
Well, I feel like this is definitely a map which would cater much more to the Sam than we saw previously in Layer Cake, but let's see what each side are thinking. The bands being Crow, 8-bit, and Stu. I like the 8-bit band there for me. The Poco, there's the Carl there as well. Gene first pick for Reply Totem is a very solid mid, all things considered. Max band as well, so you could be looking at Bell mid. Potentially could be looking maybe as well Bonnie, potentially. It's tough to really say. There's a lot of mids being banned out here. The aggressive ideas will still remain surely in those lane sides of Ash ideas and Sam ideas, but Rico as well still available. I mean, it's not going to be chaos on it, but I still feel like anyone can land it. Ruffs could be potentially another idea to float around. But it's the mids where these bans are really placed. Beager's going to be the mid of choice, Mr.Dosa. I think kind of a wise idea just because of the amount of tanks that can show their face in this particular map. But yeah, very interesting draft from both sides. I mean, that's 6 unique brawlers being banned out here, so it is going to whistle things down quite considerably.
Yeah, I will say I like what Reply Totem have done so far. They clearly came into this draft wanting to pick up that Gene as the first, with 8-bit banned out, and Crow as well with the slow, the mobility of Stu to be able to avoid it. It was smart bans coming into this one, and kind of seemed like Mr.Dosa expected for Reply Totem to come with something maybe a little bit more aggressive with their bans, but Janet's going to be their second pick, and along with the B, it's very, very solid. Janet can't deal with the tanks as much, but obviously B's going to be able to help down one of these sides if they do choose to bring something in, and it has been Mr.Dosa so far bringing those more tanky ideas to the table, but nothing can really stop Reply Totem. If the draft lines up, they're definitely going to be able to see it and pick something like that as well.
Well, so Otis going to come in for Reply Totem, which is a really, really solid thing to have. Absolutely so. And Sandy, I mean, it's again one of those brawlers which you don't necessarily expect to kind of see, because we've seen Sandy drop off so heavily when it comes to the meta. But another brawler which received a recent buff, with the attack damage being increased. 860 was what it was previously, now to 900. So we have seen a bit of a rise now. And of course, with a map like Hard Rock Mine, the amount of bush that is in this particular map running the Brute Sand star power, you're going to see so much more value in that respect for your team. Ruffs is going to come in for Mr.Dosa. It's not a bad one to have at all, especially when you know there's no Rico on the other side of things. You've got less range to have to worry about. It's going to be a better even matchup between that and the Otis. The sandbags will take a bit of a beating to the Otis, but nonetheless, not a bad comp on both sides of the field. If I had to hand it over to one side, I do favor the Reply Totem comp here. I mean, any pairing of Gene and Sandy is going to go a long, long way. You don't see those magic hands coming, and I do worry a bit. The sandbags are a saving grace in that respect for Mr.Dosa, but I feel like Reply Totem might run away with this. We need to see a lot of big plays here for this to go to a 5th and final set, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that it's not just the sandbags. We've got the honey molasses and the drop the base as well to be able to tank these kind of these gene pulls. So, I mean, smart from Mr.Dosa, but I do think it's pretty even in terms of draft. We've seen Sandy being used there by Foot, I believe it was, Drage picking up that brawler, and it works pretty well. As soon as you get the sandstorm, everything flips, and you start to do a little bit better. The stun's going to connect, but can he get the finish off on Salty? Not yet, and it looks like the name might be able to secure the pinch here with a little bit of help from a teammate. He does manage to take it down, and it's actually Mr.Dosa with the control, but Totem with the gems.
Yeah, Salty's in a great spot there. Drops the base, just to ensure a lack of healing and also visibility. Healing puffs through to Maru, and in fact, splatter into the mid will force back to the Nun. Does get a big tap though, and 5 gems dropped. Maru forced to pick him up now, and still being scrutinized by both Emmerich and Salty. Right inside Joker just gonna pop a sweet dreams there to try to slow this advance, and also the Sandstorm to hide behind. But now Salty can see where they are and just jumping, over this. Reply Totem are very, very low, but like you said, still with the gems and more to add to the bag with Joker with that pickup and patiently coming back to ensure that he stays alive. What a snatch, what a steal from Reply Totem.
And Mori on top of that, he waits for Emmerich to get too aggressive and go past those sandbags. He knows he needs to make the move and he can't go back, so he knows he can hit that pull. We're going to see Reply Totem going on to a match point now here, and that's the difference that Sandy Super can make. We see one match point, and if they can repeat the same again, we're going to be all over.
Big sigh there from Maru, and looking much happier, but not visibly, but I mean, compared to what we saw off that first set, there was a difference, a much more focused expression. I'm just banking on a smile. Give us a smile, Maru, if you win this, please. Let us know you're okay. Blink twice. Let's see. Big start, though, here for Mr.Dosa. 4 gems in the pocket. As we saw, they just dropped the ball a little bit in that last game. They cannot do the same again. Sandbags completely annihilated there from Joker. Sandy's been such a great brawler to do so, as well as the Janet, but look at the pressure being mounting here. Mr.Dosa will survive it, but nonetheless, looking a little bit better, that they cannot falter. They've got to stay on their feet a little bit better this time round.
Yeah, Slow comes in and makes the connection as well, but he's doing a good job of juking these B shots. It's actually going to be Maru's picking these gems up again and retrieving them once more. He was the gem carrier in the last one after he saw them fall down. Can Joker pick up this kill on Salty? He does. Sandbags placed in the mid as well. Still Joker up top trying to find a super, but just nothing yet. But whilst he's doing that, he's delayed it enough for his teammates to take the gem lead.
I love the piloting there from Salty. I mean, he was able to put a lot of pressure on, and I think he actually got a bit short-changed as Joker got the pickup there. But it's 7 gems and Maru with this magic hand and just flicking it there to remind Mr.Dosa that it exists. But there he goes down, leaving Maru on his own. Drop the base on the right-hand side from Salty will force him there to really be under the thick of it. Oh, and one tiny little shot there from Ruffs. Drops the gems, but you might want them better actually in the hands of Maru. In all honesty, it might be the worst trade for Reply Totem in that respect. But in the meanwhile, it's buying valuable time here for Lenan in the mid. 6 gems in the pocket, 2 in the mid though. And Reply Totem know that they can leave those in the back left and just focus their attention here. Big mute there from Maru, and Salty goes down, putting a lot of pressure there onto Emmerich. But a big takedown from Lenan to Maru might shift things around. So back and forth, Trav.
8 gems on the floor, but the pull comes in onto Emmerich there, and he does go down. The reset can be done from mid. Mute going to be missed there, though, and Lenane has to back up. He's too low. Shot does connect as well, brings Maru very low, but Joker gets the stun off. They can't pick up the gem just yet. The super goes down, but they don't prevent it anymore. They have control of this mid, though, and need to move further up the map to establish themselves when it goes down, but that's a huge cycle from Joker there, and shouldn't be 1 or 2 shots off another.
It's just amazing how much a Sandy Super makes all the difference. Maru's got the magic hand to hand, and Salty takes to the skies. I don't know whether there's going to be enough time. A missed pull there for Reply Totem. The gems, they can't be tied for the mid, and that's